So from until now, you've expressed equations using y. So you guys have usually done y is equal to x squared. Okay. Now we're going to see more of f of x is equal to x squared. So this whole thing, f of x, is called function notation, which represents the dependent variable. This is a fancy way of writing y. So function notation f of x is used to represent the value of the dependent variable. So it's just another way to write y. So f of x is just another way to write y. So, for example, instead of using x and y as my ordered pair, I can use x, which remains the same, and then f of x, which is another way of writing y. So, for example, f at 3 is equal to 5 means that y equal to 5 when x is equal to 3. And as an ordered pair, I would just simply write it as 3 comma 5 because 3 is my x and y is 5. So I write it as 3 and 5. So this is x and y, or as we're going to write it now, f of whatever the x value is. So for example, if I have something such as f of x is equal to 4, that means at a specific value, my y value is going to be 4. This will all start to make sense when we start doing examples together. So I have the function h of t, so height in terms of time. So this means height in respect to time. So that's how you'd read it as a sentence. So the function h of t is equal to negative 5t squared plus 20t plus 1. It models the height h in meters of a baseball as a function of the time t in seconds. Since it was hit, we can use function notation to show the height of the baseball. So the first t value I want to figure out my height as is 0. So to write it as function notation, you would write h, and wherever the t is, you're going to replace it with the number. H of 0 is equal to, now you replace all the t's with 0. You get negative 5 times 0 squared plus 20 times 0 plus 1. And then you would do your algebra. So anything times 0 gives me what? 0. So I get 0 plus 0 plus 1. So what is h of 0? 1. Because we're solving for 0. So what that means is that when my time is 0 seconds, the height of my baseball is at 1 meter. Okay. So now the next one we have is t at 1. So how would I write that as function notation? Jade? Yep. H bracket 1. And now I replace all the t's with a 1. Yep. Yep. Perfect. So 1 to the power of 2 gives me what? 1. So I got negative 5 times 1. What's 20 times 1? Plus 1. So I got negative 5 times 1, which is negative 5, plus 20, plus 1. So who can tell me what h at 1 gives me? Negative 5 plus 20 plus 1. Okay, 16. So if you guys were to say this in a sentence, what does that mean? Rita? Yep. So at 1 second, my baseball is at a height of 16 meters. So we'll do the T at 3, and then I'll let you guys do T at 4 by yourselves after the lesson is done. So the next one, now we have h of 0, h of 1, and next we need to evaluate for 3. So we're going to have h of 3, which means I sub in 3 for T. So who can tell me what 3 to the power of 2 gives me? 9. What's 20 times 3? 60. Plus 1. Negative 5 times 9 gives me what? Plus 60 plus 1. So who can tell me what h of 3 gives me? Olivia? 16 again. So when my time is 3 seconds, the height of my baseball is going to be 16 meters.
That's a negative 45.
Yep, negative 45. Okay. So T at 4, you'll do on your own. Let me just see if I can move up here without. Okay, there we go. I'll have it there. So for number 2, I have given the function f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. I want to evaluate for the following 4 things. So the first one I want to evaluate is at f at 3, which means wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in 3. So f of 3 is equal to 2 times 3 squared plus 3 times 3 minus 1. So what's 3 to the power of 2 again? 9 plus 9 minus 1. So 2 times 9 is 18 plus 9 minus 1. So what does f at 3 give me? Jade? 26. Good. Oh, look, now it's not an actual number. It's a term with a variable. So I have f at 5x. So what am I going to plug in for x this time? Yep. So some of you said 5, which is not correct. Sarah? Yeah. So for f at 5x, now wherever I see x, I need to plug in 5x. So I got to plug the 5x in for x. So 2 times 5x to the power of 2 plus 3 times 5x minus 1. So who can tell me what 5x to the power of 2, what would that give me? Olivia? No. When I have something squared, how many of the same things do I have? We have 2 of the same things. So 5x squared is the same thing as saying 5x times 5x. So let's do the numbers together. What would 5 times 5 be? 25. And what would x times x be? X squared. So 5x squared is the same thing as saying 25x squared. Can someone tell me what 3 times 5x gives me? 15x minus 1. Okay, what's 2 times 25x squared? 50x squared minus 15x minus 1. So this would be my answer. So as you can see, it doesn't give me a number. It gives me a polynomial expression. Yes, Olivia? Oh, whoops. Should be plus. My bad. Plus. Yep.
So basically we would just simplify it.
Can't simplify.
Not simplify it. What was it called? Expand it. Yeah.
Yep. Now, when we get to it, I would ask you guys to factor this trinomial, which you guys probably didn't like last year. So we're not going to do that yet. That I think is in unit 2. Yeah, it's in unit 2. I don't think we do factoring until next unit. Yeah. Unit 1 is just about graphing and figuring out how to graph points on a graph. So is everyone okay with this? Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Okay. It's going to move down a bit. So the next one I have is f at 5 minus 3. So what does this simplify into? Yeah. So this is the same thing as saying f at 2. So that means wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in the number 2. So f at 2 gives me 2 times 2 squared plus 3 times 2 minus 1. So can someone tell me what the next line is going to have? Abigail?
Doing that in bracket 4.
Mhm.
6 minus 1.
Okay,
And then
you can keep going. That's fine.
8
Mhm.
plus 6 minus 1.
So that means f at 5 minus 3 is equal to 13. Yep. No, you can leave it as 5. F at 5 minus 3 or f at 2. Oh, because Ashton, because they're both contained in the same bracket, I can just do 5 minus 3 right away. The next one, I'll tell you why it's different. Any questions about this? Remember, f function notation is just another writing y is equal to a function, and then just solving for any specific x value to help us find the y value. So the next one, we have f of 5 minus f of 4. So what do you think this means? Abigail? Nope, you cannot do the same thing we did before. Let's see if anyone can figure this one out. Jade? Okay, that's fine. Lisa?
Is it like the first X is 5 and the other one is 2?
Okay, closer.
Would you have to do, like, solve it in a way, like do F and then 5?
So you would solve, like Emma was saying, you would solve f of 5 first, okay? Solve for f of 4, and then take the y value from f of 5 and the y value from f at 4 and subtract them from each other. So we have to do both of them separately. It's just extra, basically extra work. So we're going to do the first one first. So we're going to do f of 5. So wherever I see 5, wherever I see x, sorry, I'm going to plug in 5. So f of 5 is equal to 2 times 5 squared plus 3 times 5 minus 1. So who can do this for me? Emma.
It would be F of 5
Mhm.
equals 2 times 25.
Yep.
Plus 15
Mhm.
minus 1.
Okay.
Then it would be F of 5 equals, we have to put 50
Yep.
plus 15 minus
Mhm.
1.
And what would my final answer be for f at 5?
64.
Yep, 64. So f of 5 is going to be 64. Now, what I have to do next is figure out f of 4. So I have to do that separately. So wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in 4. Okay, can someone tell me what the next line is going to be? Paulina?
You said F 4
Hmm?
is 3. 4 squared plus 3.
Mhm. Yep.
Plus 4.
Yep.
4 times 8 plus 12.
Oh. Remember, 4 to the power of 2 means 4 times 4.
Yeah.
16?
16.
Yep.
2 times 16.
Yep.
Plus 12.
Mm-hmm.
And 1.
Okay.
24.
32. Right?
Yeah.
32 plus 12 minus 1. So then what would my final answer be, Paulina? It's okay. Hold on. You're going to get the answer. Emma?
19.
32 plus 12 minus 1. Something. Yep. So 32 plus 12 gives me 44, right? And then 44 minus 1 gives me 43. Did you make something negative by accident? Did you plug in?
I thought the 12 was negative.
Ah.
And then then that would have been right too.
Yep.
So now we have to do technically,
64 minus.
Yep. So now we do 64 minus 43. And who can tell me what f at 5 minus f at 4 gives me? Sarah. 21. Nine plus 10, 21. No, the kid was just being
would that
dumb.
be F at 21?
No, you would write this as f at 5 minus f of 4 is equal to 21. So I'm going to leave this up for a bit so you guys can copy. Also, you guys heard the announcement yesterday, the Pure 2 classes with the thing. So if you want to sign up after the lesson for something, there you go. School supplies for
So
the,
yeah, it's like one person has to donate a bag or like.
yep, one person gets the bag, the other gets the pencil case or whatever. There's a list of stuff over here. I'm going to get some stuff, but I don't want to buy everything, you know? No, after a lesson. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next page. So this one is pretty easy. So for number 3, I want to determine f of 7. So visually, this is easy. So I need to figure out where my x value is 7 and what my y value is going to be. So for the first one, for the set of coordinates, what is f at 7? What is my y value when x is 7? For number 3, Olivia? -9. So for B, what is f of 7? What is the y value when x is 7 for B? 0. Okay, the next one is a function, so I need to sub it in. So f of 7 is equal to 7 squared plus 7 times 7 plus 12. What's 7 to the power of 2? 49. Now 7 times 7 is 49 plus 12. So who can tell me what f of 7 gives me? Olivia? 110. Okay, so this is my x value where it's 7, and that's my y value, -9.
What about all the other?
You just find where x is 7, because I'm asking for f at 7.
For the first one, how do we get 9?
So I need to find f when x is 7. That's why it's f of 7. So all I'm going to do is identify where my x value is 7, and then find the y value that's beside it.
Oh, so that would be 9.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember I said?
When 7 is
Yep.
x, then it would be -9.
Yep.
And then for B, you have to find out where negative. Where, sorry.
Yeah, where 7 is on x, and figure out what the y value is.
You can do it.
And then the last way to find it is given a graph. So f at 7, I have, this is 6, this is 7. So what is f at 7 in this case, in the graph? What is the y value when x is 7? Yep, it's 2. This point is 7 and 2, which means my y value is going to be 2. So f at 7 is 2. Thank you, Ashlyn. So everyone understand this so far? Is this easier than the stuff we've done before? Okay. So if f at 12 is equal to negative 2, what does the 12 represent? Let's see if you guys can answer this. If f of 12 is equal to negative 2, what does my 12 represent in this case? The x value. 12 represents the x value. Okay, and what does the f of 12 represent? F of 12 represents what? Yep, represents the y value when x is 12. I think we have that last one. Yep, that's going to be number 5 is the last one. Bless you. So then last but not least, I have given that g of x is equal to 5x plus 4. Find x when g of x is equal to 14. So now your question is going to be, where does this go? Where does 14 go? Where does my 14 go? Does it go for g of x or does it get subbed into actual x? Olivia? Remember, what is f of x a fancy way of saying y? So my g of x, so my 14 is my y value. And is my y value on the right side or the left side of the equation, Sarah? Yep. So it would replace this guy over here. So this is where my 14 is going to go. So I'm going to get 14 is equal to 5x plus 4. So what this question is asking me to do is to find the x value that gives me a y value of 14. So now we're going to be using basically algebra now. How am I going to isolate for 5x? What do I need to move over, Cynthia? Yep, so I'm going to move the plus 4 over to this side over here. So because I'm moving a positive number over to another side, what happens to the sign? Yeah. What's 14 minus 5? Oh, minus 4. Whoops. I'm getting confused. I'm seeing too many numbers today. So 10 is equal to 5x. Now to leave x by itself, what do I divide both sides by, Jade? Thank you. Which means x is equal to 2. So therefore, g of x is equal to 14 when x is 2.